And it's going to have a difficult task ahead of him, going up against Gala, who's now locked in that Xayah. I wonder what Ming will play. Alistar is open and available. It was his signature pick throughout the course of spring.
Whoa! Trundle here, presumably in the jungle for AHaHaCiK even, has actually played this once during the regular season, I do believe, over in the LCL. And Trundle historically has been a decent answer into the Olaf. The ultimate, of course, can steal stats with press the attack and, the chomp where you can steal away AD, the attack speed off his W2. Like, he does have pretty good trading, but Trundle clearing through the jungle on patch 11.9 in the year 2021. This champion does not hit camps fast, only has single target damage until I guess you get like a Bomby Cinder or something like that, and you can start burning down camps like the Raptors. But this is one that I will only believe once I see it work. On paper, we saw it, I think, in the LEC one time, and I absolutely hated it.
Now, we did see AHaHaCiK play the Trundle. You confirmed that. He won the game. Lucian was not banned away. We both missed it after we were talking about it so much during the course of the previous game. That will land in Xiaohu's hands.
Oh, no.
Expecting Olaf in the jungle. Lucian into Gnar. How is this going to play out?
I mean, Xiaohu's Lucian is nasty. Like, the man just takes games over with the champion. It's one of those picks that, like, once Ming sees that locked in for Xiaohu, Ming's like, okay, Gala, was nice knowing you, buddy. You have Xayah, you have the ultimate, right? You're not going to get Dove. Okay, you're good. I'm out. I'm going top lane. We're trying to set up some plays. And with and Olaf, too, as well, controlling with early lane priority from a Lucian. Of course, theoretically, that could still go into the mid lane for Cryin, but expecting it to be Xiaohu's choice here. RNG can just look to really get some dominant lanes in both mid lane and top lane, save that counter pick for 5th since they are on red side, and look to attack the 3-man core that's been together for so long, from Vega Squadron to UOL. Boss and AHaHaCiK or Nomanz are all names that you recognize on the international stage because they've just been here every single time.
And you have to feel that AHaHaCiK's going to have a difficult game ahead of him. This Olaf, this Lucian, the ability to push forward in that lane, potentially get into the jungle of UOL. We saw how forward RNG played just in the previous game against Pentanet. Cryin was going for all-ins, blowing his flash at level 2 on the Silas. And they may be able to do that again. Rakan was the next ban, so that'll deny the Xayah-Rakan combination to Gala and Ming. Waiting for the final ban to come in. I do not see one. So that does look like it was either a missed ban or similar. Unsure if we'll be able to clarify that one. And this will mean Ming instantly locks in his signature pick. It's the Alistar. This is a player that loves to roam. This is a player that loves to help everyone else on the map.
For sure. Complete monster on that one. 20 games this year. If you combine like Demacia Cup plus regular season plus the playoffs there in the LPL. Complete monster on that. And well, Unicorns, they're known for surprising us with picks, with drafts. Missing a ban, not as much of a surprise, but we've seen like the mages in the bot lane back in the past when it was Gadget. Nomanz on the cast, and AHaHaCiK always has a trick up his sleeve. Still doubting that Trundle to some extent, but now with the Viktor, Nomanz looking to take a strong team fighting, scaling mid that can neutralize the majority of mid lane matchups.
I also like the gravity field, the pillar of ice that can come up from Trundle from Viktor, the amount of zone control that will give you, while Wei, who I'm expecting to play this Olaf, will be able to run through all of that and not give a damn. Everyone else is going to have a very difficult time dealing with that zone control. So if UOL can be on an even footing, that is going to help. And then you layer the Glacial Fissure as well. Good luck for everyone not named Olaf.
Well, Braum's really interesting here because a lot of people, or a lot of pro players, value Braum when you see like double marksman comps on the other side. You sort of throw up your Unbreakable, soak up all the damage of the auto attacks coming through. Also, Unicorns have 3 ranged auto attackers. Even Viktor, to an extent, when he presses Q, he wants to get the bonus damage off. So proccing the concussive blows passive on Braum should not be difficult at all for Unicorns. At the same time, though, it is a little bit more defensive-looking bot lane champion. Setting up ganks not quite as easy. And in this game from Unicorns, it's basically telling us that they almost don't want to look towards the bot lane as much, expecting maybe more attention from RNG, jungle, and bot lane, and even mid lane too, with a Ryze roaming towards mid, roaming towards top. Unicorns instead may try to counterattack around the top side of the map.
Now let's see if they can pull that one off. And also the 5 head pick in Ryze. After talking about all the zone control, all the difficulties that UOL's team comp can give to RNG, just realm warp over it.
Yeah.
Just put down the Ryze in a good position, get over that CC. If Cryin can hold on to the ulti and use it once UOL committed their CC, it's going to be difficult.
I mean, even just sending Cryin to a side lane, you know, who's going to match him? If Viktor needs to be with his team to deal the damage, you have a Gnar that is going to be itemizing heavy into armor against a Lucian, and then if Lucian says, okay, now I'm playing with the team, it's Ryze in the side lane, Cryin will cut through boss like butter. So it really does some nasty things to unicorns when it comes to how they deal with this map pressure in the mid to late game, and they're gonna have to come up with the answers against it, because I feel like RNG with Xiaohu's signature Lucian, with the Ryze last pick for Cryin, with Ming on his Alistar, RNG got everything they could have wanted.
I mean, Xiaohu's Lucian, 9 games played this year, 100% win rate. You were talking a little bit about how he pulled that out in the mid lane against Faker, and now he's got it here against the Unicorns of Love. Ender, let's flip the attention to RNG for a moment, because you were talking about how UOL's draft may indicate a focus towards the top, upper half of the map. We also talked about the fact that Wei is going to be a much faster jungler than a 9/6 Trundle, also expecting Xiaohu to be able to push the lane very quickly early on. So what do RNG want to do in the early stages?
Well, I mean, I think the idea is that you want to buy space for Xiaohu, potentially see some early attention bot lane, but I actually wouldn't even expect to see that much, apart from maybe one gank to get RNG some prio. They can take an early reset and get Ming back onto the map, because ultimately, while I'm saying UOL maybe are focusing topside, it's not so much that they're trying to like shut down Xiaohu. It's more that, well, RNG likely are going to see Wei pathing bot to top, starting on Wolves here, presumably from him with the AoE. So AHaHaCiK needs to be able to protect a Gnar that can be very, very vulnerable in the early laning phase.
Oh man, has to do that while also balancing a very slow clear speed and not letting Wei just run away with the game, like we saw just moments ago.
Yeah, really cute move there from Santos. He's actually sitting in mid lane to make sure there's no late invade on the top side of the map from RNG. When you see like a Lucian and an Olaf, that's very powerful in the early game, so it wouldn't have been too surprising. So he's sitting there making sure that AHaHaCiK can get through that blue buff before eventually heading down towards the bottom side of the map.
And looking at the bottom side of the map, Lodik deciding to run the exhaust, I think that's a pretty good call. If Lucian, Olaf, Ryze, if any of them try to jump on top of him, that could be huge during the course of the team fights. And let's quickly just take another moment to look at Xiaohu, talk a little bit about itemization, because I loved the deep dive we had in game number 1. What should we expect from Xiaohu in this top lane Lucian?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are going to be going the route of the Gale Force on that Lucian. Of course, you can reposition your culling with that one. Possible you see a Kraken Slayer, but I think of Xiaohu, especially if he's getting off to a good early start here, the Gale Force would be an excellent option for him. He's actually gone with the longsword plus a refillable potion at level 1, not even valuing the Omnivamp or you know, life return you get from a Cole or a Dorian's Blade, anything like that. Instead, going very fast into his first item. Now AHaHaCiK, after doing his top 3 side camps, is running into RNG's top side, potentially just looking for a mid lane gank here on Cryin.
All right, Cryin will get knocked back by that pillar. He's going to get locked in place, forced to flash away. That's a good gank by AHaHaCiK.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Trundle's ganks are absolutely ruthless, and I think it's actually the slow on his pillar did get buffed a little bit on this patch. That was one of the big nerfs that took him out of meta almost a year and a half ago. But ultimately, you see the weakness of the pick, too. While AHaHaCiK has spent some extra time looking for the gank in mid lane, got the flash, that's great, especially if they can repeat. Well, Cryin TP's back, and now AHaHaCiK is down 2 full camps at the end of the clear. Wei is going to get through his jungle in plenty of time to walk to the Scuttle Crab the second that spawns, and you'll see AHaHaCiK, he has to go to the bot side Scuttle or risk getting double camped. And at the same time, there's a giant wave in top lane. Wei may just flash this one. Look for the dive. He's crazy!
Man, Xiaohu gets so much damage. Boss below 200 HP. There's a huge minion wave in front of him as well. He made just about Mega Gnar, hops forward. First blood picked up by Wei. The minion wave denied. This is exactly what you were talking about. Exactly what you were talking about, Ender.
My man's just flashed over the wall to be there in time for the dive because he was a little slow going for the full clear through his jungle. Boss has to TP to the inner turret. Has a ward to see Wei walking away, but I mean, he loses so much off that play. 28 CS to 11 here. It's a turret plate, even with the added fortification, because Xiaohu had a million years just battered down that turret.
Oh man, Xiaohu off to a great start already with the help of Wei. despite the fact that AHaHaCiK picked up the first successful gank of the game. It's Way that gets the kill, and now AHaHaCiK is just lingering. Ming's aware of it.
That's so unfair. Like, AHaHaCiK doesn't even know he's revealed, by the way. That's completely unfair. And Ming's actually still stepping forward. They want to waste as much time as possible. Gala steps forward. That may be rough.
The headbutt will send AHaHaCiK away, and we'll be able to catch the stun onto Ming. He's forced to flash 150 HP. Flash forward from Lodik. That will be a kill back for UOL. Gala escapes with his life, so AHaHaCiK at least picking up something in this bottom lane.
Yeah, so that's like unchained confidence from RNG, I'm going to say, knowing that Trundle is there, knowing that you can get chased down the lane relatively easily. Gala, of course, was fine, but Ming, the same could not be said. Their lane was in a really rough position, so may have added into some factor there, because they do need to break that freeze, but Ming knew this was going on for so darn long here. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, like... But he's like, we're fine, we're good. They don't know that we know he's there.
And then, of course, UOL just brute force this kill. Brought to you by the new Axe effect, just layering everything. Ming with a pretty good headbutt, just to at least delay this. But Lodik commits the flash. Ming goes down and could be another target. Now, I must admit, Lodik and Santos are doing relatively well in this bottom lane. The exhaust will force the flash out of Gala as he's going to dash away to safety. And it feels as though Lodik is looking pretty good in this early stage of the game. That's a Hex Flash over the wall. That's going to catch AHaHaCiK. He's chunked down, blown up, and Way picks up the second kill of the game.
And this is the game plan from RNG. Get Ming out of the bottom lane and start looking to attack. And this takes me back in time to when AHaHaCiK looked for the level 3 gank in mid lane, because yes, it got a flash out of Cryin, but when do you revisit that lane? It's not possible. Santos wants to be in bot side, and the rest of RNG, well, they do too.
Cryin's coming in with the Realm Warp as well. The Undertow comes out, as well as a Reckless Swing. Way's not going to go under the tower, takes one shot. Below 200 HP, and Lodik will escape with his life for now, but RNG, it is just tempo chase, go, go,
it's
go.
It's brutal, and bot lane got a lot of the focus, but look at top lane. Like, just stay here. Xiaohu is literally proxying the waves because he knows AHaHaCiK can never visit top lane. This is why I was saying, like, AHaHaCiK needs to maybe even path towards top because of this threat, this looming threat that's always going to be coming, and yes, he did end up getting the kill around the bot side, and I think RNG's bot lane are playing a little bit loose with it, to say the least. Gala even losing his flash in the 1v2 while his support was trying to go for that play in mid, but this is not going to slow down anytime soon for RNG with a 6.5-minute Drake 2. They're just trying to keep the tempo of the game just snowballing forward.
It is brutal. AHaHaCiK's already got himself, he's down a level on Way. Xiaohu is up 30 CS, double that of bot. Culling and Flash is available. Now Xiaohu will be flanked by two members. The Culling will hit almost every shot, interrupted by the Pillar of Ice. Mega not going to be enough. That's the flash forward. Xiaohu gets one, turns his attention onto AHaHaCiK, dashes away, and almost had enough time and damage for a double. Thumbs up. Xiaohu, Lucian needs to be banned.
He just 1v2'd that and killed the Gnar while he just sent his culling into the skin of a Trundle. Like, he didn't even need his ultimate for that kill. He's got the 2-level lead, completely destroying the topside matchup, and, well, it's a little bit too little too late from AHaHaCiK visiting the top lane at this point in the game. RNG are looking out of control on day 2.
It is so fun to watch, and it is exquisite for LPL fans, for RNG. Put yourself in the shoes of UOL and anyone from the LCL. Obviously, it's a difficult game to watch. But, like, when you see how RNG are playing, they are forcing advantages. They are creating scenarios and crazy tower dives. I like the way you phrased it. A little bit loose from RNG. But they know they've got the abilities, the mechanical skill to pull these dives off, and they're just committing for it. I think they're having a little bit of fun. They're styling just for a moment, and this is huge for confidence build-up as we look ahead to later in the tournament.
It's funny, too, because domestically, RNG aren't even known for playing, like, the LPL style that we all know and love, the early game aggression that everyone sort of expects from the team. No, they're a little bit more laid back with it compared to, the other, powerhouse teams in the region as well. But here in the group stage, they are definitely introducing the unicorns, or reintroducing the unicorns to LPL aggression, introducing Pentanet to that as well, and just showing that, hey, when there is a giant skill gap, they are going to make you notice.
I mean, the RNG story is one of development. From spring to playoffs, adaptation of playstyle, their game times and their aggression did increase. More kills, faster games during the course of the playoffs. And now, in this matchup against UOL and Pentanet, where they do have an experience advantage, a skill disparity as well, they are flexing. They're not playing this one slow and safe, and 8.5 minutes in, it's nearly 3,000 gold lead. Xiaohu continues to extend that CS advantage. And I think if we get through the rest of this group stage and take a look at the CS differences, there's a possibility that RNG may be able to flame Horizon in every single lane.
Oh no.
You know, it worked for Wei momentarily ago. Still a level up over AHaHaCiK. He's clearing out the ward, but Wei walked over one himself. And if you look at the minimap, Cryin's moving as well as Nomanz.
The thing is with the Rift Herald now too, if Wei just puts that down, it immediately starts a skirmish, right? So RNG feel very confident to do that. Nomanz has vision. Maybe there's a chance he can steal away the Scuttle Crab. It's the little things for Unicorns. He gets it! 105 Gs in the bank and a little movement speed. Doesn't mean anything.
It's about sending a message.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the psychological play. As Nomanz uses that death ray to secure it. I didn't see, could they pick up the eye? I don't even think they were able to do that.
Wei got it. Wei did get it.
There we go. All right. Well, let's take a look at that. Lodik gets caught out by the feathers. And Lodik and Santas, they're actually doing relatively well in this lane. They've been pushing a whole bunch, and AHaHaCiK dropped down to help out. And after Gala's performance on Kaisa, one of the things you have to start asking is, can he do that on every other champion? You know, how far can Gala push the limits? Because Dagda reckons he's not even one of the best ADs from LPL, which is terrifying.
Crazy.
It's terrifying.
You know, Worlds is going to be spooky. I'll say that. Thankfully, at MSI, you only have to face one LPL AD carry, unless they're doing some kind of roster swaps, anything like that. But yeah, that definitely is a terrifying prospect. And you know what? He's not even the strongest AD carry in this game. Because right now, Xiaohu's having the time of his life up in top lane. 103 CS, 101, didn't delay himself with a boots purchase or a Doran's purchase at the start of the game. He got those free-ass boots. He got a long sword to start the game off, so he's already got his mythic item. It's totally going fine for him, and Gala, all he has to do is farm. All he has to do is chill out. The rest of RNG are going to be the ones to go completely nuts.
Well, Wei's going to make his way down to help Gala go nuts, pick up a couple more plates, extend that gold lead even further. That's where the Herald will be dropped, so RNG can look to extend this even further with the boop. It should drop the tower, and Lodik did back. He picked himself up that pickaxe as well as attack speed dagger, and that's first tower. The gold lead gets extended even further, and Wei's just looking for more opportunities to press forward.
Oh, there may be a fight here. Unicorns, they know the Drake's spawning in 20 seconds. They don't have great vision inside the river, and they certainly don't know there are two players sitting inside the pixel brush. So, I mean, Nomanz, you can try to scout this out. Good job using both the Q from Santas and the laser beam from Nomanz to try and make that one happen, but I don't even think bringing equal numbers here is a good idea for Unicorns. You look at the items, it is a severe difference between the two teams.
Ming is on the hunt. Wei's coming in from behind. There's the headbutt pulverized combo. Nomanz forced to flash away. Gala is now in the fray, and Ragnarok is dropped down by Wei. Mega Gnar will just about proc for boss, as now UOL have got control of the river.
Patience, though, from RNG, right? Not calling in the TP from Xiaohu. Very little mana on Lucian. Still could come in, but he wants this tower first, and then there can be more.
Subjugate has been used, and Mega Gnar is just about to proc. Boss could be huge for the Unicorns of Love. And AHaHaCiK is chunked low from the Culling Santas. Goes low. Glacial Fisher not yet fried. Xiaohu goes very, very low. Killer Instinct has been used by Lodik, and RNG brute force their way into the pit.
Yeah, it's the brute force at the end, but the patience leading up into that moment as well, knowing that Xiaohu could get a whole lot more with the turret in the top side too, if RNG just slowed it down, pulled them away from the fight in the mid lane when the TP came in initially from the Gnar and said, we will fight you in the pit once the Drake is started up. They get the second of the game, and Ming has a regular flash. He's going flying.
Yeah, he absolutely is. So much damage onto Nomanz. It's Gala that secures the kill, and Ming's able to escape with his life. I mean, that was such a difficult fight for UOL because they were facing off against multiple mythic items. They already are in a huge gold deficit, but I do want to commend the patience that they showed. They are trying to dance on the edge of safety as much as possible, but they're in such a difficult position because RNG can just hit them with their wallets.
Yeah, and RNG are making like all the right decisions too. Like there's so much theory going back to like how they placed the Rift Herald as well, not putting it in top lane initially because like Xiaohu wants that tower to be alive for forever, just so he can continue to abuse his lead and deny minions underneath that, forcing Gnar to completely overextend to go for it. And then instead deciding to put it in bot lane, where there's not a lot of kill threat for the time being. They got that tower, got a whole lot of money onto Gala, meant that he had his mythic leading into that Drake fight. Now should be a Rift Herald coming up soon they can play for too. So all these things for RNG they are executing on very, very well. And the next target for them, the mid lane turret, start hitting jungle camps, red, blue respawn timers, all these things, because now you have an RNG who have unlocked Wei and Ming to roam around the map. You have two very powerful solo laners too in Xiaohu and Cryin, so you can split into 1-1, play the entire map, and then collapse into the jungle with your priority to attack jungle camps and continue to set Unicorns further behind.
Help me understand something here. So RNG in the previous game, and even this game, playing a little bit loose, right? They're playing in the faces of their opponents. But I feel like in this game, RNG are demonstrating a really good understanding of where they have advantages, where they have pressure, the objectives that they're focusing. And even though it does look a little chaotic at times, how do you evaluate like their decision-making, their macro or whatever we want to call it?
Sure, I would say it's excellent, apart from, again, like the bot lane going a little wild in the first 10 minutes. Since then, it's been very good. And you also, like, this next stage of the game is going to be very telling, because in a lot of games at a point like this, well, there may just be a fight, and honestly, it gets chased down a bit, but ultimately, they're just playing for the tower. All
right, the gravity field will buy some time here. Nomanz forced to run back. He's held onto that Chaos Storm.
Close to Mega on Boss.
Is coming in, but there's too much damage. He cannot survive long enough. That's a flash over the wall from Wei. Manages to chuck one out. The culling will drock Nomanz all the way down to 20% HP, and this is without Cryin, by the way.
Yeah, but again, how does it work, right? With the outer towers down, you have a couple people pushing in mid, the rest of the team cutting through that top side jungle, seeing if they can slice off any member of Unicorns that comes away too fast. If not, well, they just zone them away from the tower and knock that down. At the same time, Cryin's bot lane pushing out always has the Realm Warp to escape, and that leads into a bigger point where a lot of times when you get to a game state like this, maybe not with quite as large gold, it's really hard for the offensive team to play all three lanes, pushing in like all the way into the tier 2 turrets, because frankly, you're spreading yourselves thin. Even if you have a gold advantage, well, if Unicorns bring 2 or 3 members to the top lane, you can shut down a Lucian. Well, Lucian is way too far ahead for that to be realistic, so you can't really slam that top lane because he may just very well get 1 or 2 kills in the process. And well, Cryin, not as far ahead, just been farming on this Ryze, might not be able to pull off the 1v3. You can't even kill him because of the champion. He just realm warps out and he's fine.
Yeah, the decision-making, the tools, the comp, is just working out so well. UOL had a brief opportunity, but Boss gets obliterated here. There is so much damage on this RNG composition. Wasn't even able to gnar out, and of course Wei just, again, playing forward, playing on the front foot, willing to jump into the faces of the enemy, and this just means RNG extend that lead. 8,000 gold, 5 kills to 1, 2 dragons, 3 towers, and look at the mythics already completed. Essence Reaver as well for Xiaohu, and there's not even a single mythic yet on the Unicorns of Love. So again, just outclassing their opponents.
It's brutal. And like, stop watching the center of the screen. Just look at the mini-map and watch how they're moving around, too, because they are playing all 3 lanes. Xiaohu takes a little cautiously, as there are 3 members towards the top side of the map. But as soon as you realize that, well, Ming gets free entrance into the spot side jungle. Slice away all the vision. We're 40 seconds away from the Ocean Drake coming up, so make sure that Unicorns have no way to even approach the river to lay down some wards of their own. That'll be an easy third secured, the sole point for RNG as well. And with so little time on the clock, the only option for Unicorns is to attack the top lane. That's why AHaHaCiK's trying to roam around to find his way in, but Xiaohu, realizing that, says, no, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take a reset, and then path straight back there.
And it's so difficult for UOL because their composition doesn't exactly have the cleanest of engage tools. I think their counter-engage is really strong. Their ability to flank can be good, but they have no control of the map. There's so much vision that RNG are placing that Boss has been unable to find a flank, has been unable to find a Mega Gnar. So UOL have to wait for RNG to come at them, but they're so far behind in items, in gold, that unless RNG sort of overcommit or misplay a little, it's going to be very, very difficult for UOL to win these fights.
And like, clearly, like, RNG are just the better team, right? But I think more than that, Unicorns had a sort of a misread on their own game plan. Their draft not necessarily like has problems in itself. I think the Trundle may be a bit of a reach there in the jungle, especially just knowing you're going to be falling behind. But even then, like, when you see these 2 drafts play out, well, you expect to see RNG playing around topside, looking for an early dive against this Gnar. AHaHaCiK needs to be there. He goes for a mid lane gank that they can never follow up on because of the support matchup. So it's these types of things you need to realize, where it's Ming's Alistar versus a Braum. Well, even with the 2v2 winning from Unicorns, Ming dies. He doesn't care. He doesn't walk bot lane. He walks mid lane. It doesn't matter that Cryin doesn't have a flash. They're able to shut down and kill Nomanz. So RNG had a very good game plan. Unicorns didn't see that coming, and well, they don't see 3 people coming for Nomanz.
They did not. And you did see that one coming and was able to call it out. So good one on there, and Nomanz will get chunked down again. He has just been bullied so much this game. He received the first gank from Wei, conceded first blood. He's down 70 CS. Xiaohu's got himself 1-0-2 on the scoreboard, and he's just destroying.
No, but the thing is, like, these kills are great, but the way Xiaohu is playing his side lane, when his team is attacking or right before they attack, he just disappears into the fog of war, sitting between the 2 towers. Like, Unicorns, their answer is a cross-map play to attack top. well, they don't see a target.
Yeah.
Like, every time they start heading that direction, Xiaohu susses it out. He knows that he's playing weak side. Even if he's on this super strong champion, 65 CS lead, it doesn't matter. He just disappears. He's close. They don't know that, though, and it's impossible for them to make a move.
There is no opportunities presented. There is no angles that UOL can look to attack. I think one of the things that I feel watching this game, the first 20 minutes in comparison to the Pentanet win, it feels as though RNG have slowed down the pace a little. They're playing the map a little more obviously as the composition would want them to do that. But also, I think you do have to give some credit here to UOL. Despite the deficit, when they have had those skirmish scenarios,
oh boy,
they have played with respect and may be able to get the shutdown here onto Xiaohu. The kill is secured by Lodik. That is huge. But it is Mount Everest, the climb back, that Unicorns need to pull off. But I do think, yeah, there's a slightly higher degree of map and lane play this game than we saw in the previous one.
Oh, for sure, for sure. RNG are playing it very well, and like even Xiaohu there, right? He dies, it's a mistake, whatever. He does it because he sees a couple members of Unicorn's bot lane, doesn't expect to get TP'd on, doesn't expect to be jumped on with Lodik's ult there either. And now Wei,
I think he stole away the blue buff if I'm reading that correctly, stands forward, manages to pick up the smite, keeps chucking out the undertows, buying enough time for Cryin to arrive to the fray. Here comes Gala as well. AHaHaCiK is locked down in place.
Yeah,
and Ming is now being burst down. That's one secured for Gala. The chase into the jungle as Nomanz is now being forced backwards. Xiaohu TP's in, flashes forward. Not going to be able to pick up Santas just yet. Turns his attention back to boss, and RNG will pick up 4 kills just as Baron spawns.
Just sort of say, you know, they're taking it slow, they're playing it smart. They're like, no, 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 we are just going to slaughter them in the jungle. 20 minutes on the clock, and that may very well be the Baron 2. They do take this pretty quickly, and Ming has some honey fruit. Gonna eat that up. Hex flash flex on him, back into the pit. It's easy pickings for RNG.
I mean, dominance. That's all we're seeing here from RNG today. 21-minute Baron, 13,000 gold lead, and again, just demonstrating their mastery and understanding. Xiaohu will pick up a solo kill there onto Santas. That's the 11th for RNG, and they're going to start to back away.
Oh, good idea there. Lodik's ult was just about to be back up, so I understand what Santas was trying to do, was trying to bait in Xiaohu, but I don't think he's actually seen Xiaohu that much in like 1v1 situations. Didn't quite realize how much damage a, well, soon-to-be 3 item Lucian is going to do at this point.
I mean, it's just fantastic here, and it'll be very interesting to see who's going to be able to match the players and how that plays out. I think RNG have shown a couple of interesting looks and games against slightly weaker opposition, as now AHaHaCiK is going to be the next target. This Trundle pick has not really paid off, and Unicorns of Love have just been pushed all the way back. The Red Bull Baron power play is now activated, 14,000 gold lead. I think one of the things I'm going to research ahead of tomorrow's games is taking a look at some of the all-time records, some of the fastest games, some of the largest gold leads. I think RNG are looking to set some records here as now Ming and Wei, they get engaged upon. The rest of RNG arrive to the fray. Boss is already dead, and nobody from RNG has fallen. Santas is the next target, following on to AHaHaCiK and Xiaohu and Gala. Who's going to pick up the kill? It will be donated to Xiaohu, as now Cryin goes all the way forward. He's holding on to 2 members of Unicorns of Love. Buys some more time by going golden, and Wei now has the support of Xiaohu and the rest of RNG. Nomanz and Lodik escape with their lives, but for how long? The base is being battered and opened up by RNG.
Yeah, right now RNG, they're not looking to end it here. They're sending 2 players back because there's also a 23-minute Ocean Soul on the table for them. Easy pickup, and we'll even get the inhibitor. Gala's still in this 2v3. Xiaohu not here quite yet.
Yeah, the bot lane playing fast and loose, remember. Gala's still got the ultimate available, can dodge some damage, has not yet pulled the trigger. That's another kill onto Santas, as all of the damage coming from Xiaohu, and Gala is wrecking.
Oh, they have Ocean Soul now. They're sustaining through it all.
Ocean Soul picked up. Xiaohu finally goes down in the fray. Ming re-engages once again. Gala and Ming do not know back, do not know retreat. It is pushing forward. It is non-stop. It is in your face. And RNG said, stuff you, and they are looking for the win. But that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pushing the inhibitor, the rest of the squad picking up Ocean Soul, and now the Baron empowered push. 3 minutes from Baron to looking like end of game.
Yeah, Lodik's gonna spawn in 2 seconds, but frankly, Unicorns have 0 damage to put into RNG, especially with the Ocean Soul. It's a scam that Wei didn't get assists for picking that one up. His team definitely used it. It's a huge engage from Ming, and a huge couple of kills before RNG close this one out.
It's a party for RNG as Cryin, Gala and Wei each pick up one lost in the fray. RNG destroy Unicorns of Love and make again a statement in a heavily favored match. That is actually what
Do they need to make more statements?
No, but that is what you expect to see when you have teams like this coming up against one another. And as obviously they're now 3-0 and looking very, very likely to advance to the Rumble stage, this is where now I start thinking about how do other teams start to contest RNG and who from UOL and Pentanet will join them.
Yeah, that's the matchup everyone's going to be looking forward to. I think everyone, like, when you look at how these teams have played